Livestream. Lots of work to do today, too. I have to try to get this all done by the weekend. Yay. I really don't have that too much more to do, though.
You ever see that basketball movie?
Why do you have two hair? Okay, so you have both hair showing. You shouldn't have your hair. Oh, that's probably why. There we go. Fixed. Is there some? No, she needs a horn. Let's just. Who are you? Oh yeah, your wings were broken. That was kind of why I named you that. Okay, whatever. I'm not worried about that right now. So I have a feeling that I'm gonna forget. It's just I'm gonna render it, put it out, and then go, oh yeah. That's fine. Just makes it funnier.
Yep. You ever see that basketball movie with the song about flying? This is just flying. This is.
I did rearrange this a little bit. I'm gonna move Rainbow to be a little earlier.
The song about flying. This is just flying. This is with the song about flying. This is. This is.
This should be fine.
This is just like that.
Okay. I'm gonna.
That basketball movie with the song about.
I'm gonna add just this little bit to Rainbow here. Yeah, just a little bit to here.
With the song about flying.
So she goes. I don't need Twilight talking over that. So she kind of hits the top end here and then stops very abruptly. Even if I add something to it that's going to be obvious. So I'm just going to round the end of it. It's very minor, but at least it prevents having a little bit of a stick. So I want to have her probably go further than she should need to. Just by a teeny bit. Kind of. I'm okay with that, but I need to balance it out a little bit. Okay, that should work. Her eyes. Have them open just a little bit more. Especially on the top portion. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make it so that she. Where's your neck? I'm gonna make it so that she actually. Maybe she's at the beginning. Yeah, I'm gonna make it so that her neck actually goes forward a little bit. Okay. And offset that with the head looking up just a little bit more. Yeah. It provides motion without actually moving it. It's like her head's just moving a little bit forward. Okay, when her head hits the end here, it really stops abruptly. I'm just gonna see if I can add something to it. That works, but a little bit further down. Actually, I wonder if it's just going to be a straight bounce back. Just that none of the other ones really looked good. Something could be added. I'm just trying to figure out what that is. Okay, that little loop might actually let me then utilize that a little bit. Hello. How are you doing? I don't think I actually moved her eyes here. So she's supposed to blink during this period. Oh no, I do have her eyes move. It didn't really feel like... Oh no, okay, they're definitely moving. I think I need to have her pull back a little bit too. Because the entire movement here, her butt never actually moves. And she needs a butt that moves. Well, other than the wiggle. Okay, that kind of works, but it's obvious that all she's doing is sliding backwards. I wonder if I can do something like that. This is going to go for an ultra cheat, but let's see if this works. It's hard with the jiggles back there. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. What I'm gonna do is blend this a little bit. So I'm gonna say this is the starting point. I'm gonna do that. It works, but it has to be a lot smaller. Like maybe that, and just tapers off. I'm doing pretty good. Just been kind of busy. So I have well, thank you. Because Ciderfest is in just over a week. So this Ciderfest starts the 26th, and I have a lot of con prep to do still. But the problem is I fly out for work on Sunday, and I don't actually come home until after the con. So I have to have all my con stuff ready in 5 days. So I've got all the essential stuff done. I've just got a lot of side stuff to do. So it's just getting all that set. So I'm not too worried about it if I don't get the side stuff done. It's not a worry, but it will definitely make things better if I do. Hello, blah blah. That's a lot of puppies. When you mention cover, do you mean stuff for panels or video animation stuff, or just standard trip essentials? More of the beginning one, because like when I do a lot of conventions, I don't, other than like BronyCon, a lot of the smaller ones, I do more than just SFM stuff. So, for instance, at Ciderfest, I have the SFM panel, which I want to try to have this done for. But that's kind of actually towards the bottom of my list of priorities, mainly because SFM panels we've done so many of them now. Like, I've done probably like 14 to 15 of them, that a lot of the places when we go there, we've done them before. So we stopped doing as much information presentation as we did just now, highlighting community people and showing videos of stuff. That one I'm not too worried about, but we also have 2 anthology panels that's I don't have to prepare for, but that's 4 hours of content. But I just have to show up for those. Minty Roots are doing the 2D versus 3D. That one essentially I just have to show up for. But the 2 that are taking the most prep work are, we do the Bad Fanfic panel at the Charlie Cons, so at the Winnie City and Ciderfest. So that's a lot of con prep about like getting all the fics ready, edited in readable format. Plus we like to do gimmicks so that every story has more than just read the story. So I have a picture that I make for every fic at the beginning, and I put way too much work into them. So I spent 4 hours the other day working on 2 of them. So, and these are pictures that are literally shown for like 10 seconds and then that's it. But it's for the laugh, so that's what we do it. But we make other gimmicks for those, and that takes a lot of time. But then we're also trying something new this year. We're making a super fight panel. So if you've ever played Super Fight, the card game, it's a game about arguments and who would win a fight. So we're trying it with Pony, and because the argument is the funny part, we're doing it with a panel and having the audience vote on challenges and stuff. So and plus I have a surprise for that one too. So, but that one's took a lot of prep, but I did that already. So I'm just doing the Bad Fanfic prep now. I can't wait to hit up Ciderfest next year. Haven't gone yet, but want to try this. Make it my new go-to con since BronyCon is going to be dead. Yeah. Out of all the cons I go to every year, Ciderfest is top of my list for the ones I like the most. It goes to Ciderfest, then like BabsCon used to be lower, but I really had a lot of fun this year. So it's BabsCon, then Winnie City, and then BronyCon. So it sounds weird having BronyCon at the bottom of my list, but it just, I don't know. It's just not. It doesn't have the same feel for me as it used to. I guess that one feels cookie cutter, but a lot of the smaller ones are more like hang out, have fun with people, and off the cuff. And I do more content that I enjoy doing. I like the SFM panels and stuff, but I like doing goofy stuff too, and doing the bad fanfics and stuff. That's just, it's so great. I love doing those. I just could never do it at BronyCon because that one is usually almost always taken out with somebody else doing something like that. So that's why I thought with the Super Fight panel, if the bad fanfic's already taken, we might be able to get something for that. So I want to see how it goes this year. BronyCon, I wouldn't say sets the standard. BronyCon is just big. I think that's its main thing. There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of vendors. There's a lot, but for what I'm looking for in a convention, I don't think BronyCon's really it. I definitely have fun. I like going, but like I had originally not intended to go next year. I had originally intended to make it my last, but because it's their last, I decided that I'm going to just go one more year. But Cider Fest is just, I don't know, there's something about Cider Fest. It just feels so much more chill. It feels like a big meetup, not as much of a convention. The venue's really good, though I don't know if it's going to be the same venue next year. There's been some issues with new management. But there's I don't know. I could talk forever about Cider Fest because it's always so good. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna throw her head down a little bit here. Probably have her squint a little bit here. No, not maybe a little more raise. Well, to me, in terms of being the last BronyCon and everything having an end, I think a lot of it is if you keep the same things going forever, it's just going to be burnout, and because everybody tries to one up what they've done before, and that was easy originally because everybody's in the community was finding a stride and finding a new talent that they didn't know they had maybe, and was improving and getting better. So it was easy to outdo your previous, but eventually it gets to the point where you get to, people think that you're not as good or their content is getting worse or taking longer, and it's really just because they've hit a plateau, maybe, or slowed down on it. And so I think over time things have to end. It doesn't mean that everything's ending. It just means that somebody else or something else will take its place. People leaving the fandom is normal, but there's plenty of people that are just as skilled or more skilled than some of those people trying to work their way up. But it's tough when people want to just ignore them and pay attention to the people that have already made it, and I don't like that. It's one of the reasons that, like, the SFM panel, we started doing it where instead of originally our rule was only our content, because we didn't want to have to deal with the logistics of, like, who do we show when and how do we do all this. We didn't want to do that. So now, though, we started doing where we find other people that are like low sub count with good quality, and we go and show them to these places and say, these are all these people, go follow them, go comment, let them know that they do a good job, because these are the people that are going to be helping keep the fandom going. So Endings are sad, but I also think that it's like you don't want to have something end in a whimper. I'd rather have it end in a sorry, that down a little bit. I'd rather have it end in a awesome way, big explosions, and then have it cut. I think Doors 3 was that way. They basically improved it to where the last one was really, really good, and I think that's a good time to cut it. There's a lot of things that I think that are that way. If you just keep it going, it's just going to... You might be like, yay, the next one, but then you just kind of forget about it quickly, and everyone after that's going to be that way. I don't know if that's going to work. Because technically she's going straight. Probably not. Because the way I've done it is that with my own content is I had a rule from when I started that I was not going to make this a job, because I did that before with 2 other hobbies where I started, like, I got a degree in web development administration because I started making that idea a job, and then I ended up hating it. And so I was like, I'm not going to make this a job, in that I'm not going to do it for profit, or I'm not going to make profit a priority. I'm not going to work myself to the bone. I'm going to work when I feel like it, when it sounds like it's going to be fun, on things that I want to make, and with the intent of making something entertaining above profit. And that's what I've done. So I'm not worried about sub count. I'm not worried about that stuff. I just enjoying myself with it. So I've slowed down over time because it's like I went to the top of the roller coaster and I was working a lot of time on stuff because I was really into it. Then I kind of went down, and I'm now at a happy medium. And so I'm just enjoying smaller stuff now because that's just what sounds like fun. I don't see myself quitting anytime soon just because I'm at that happy plateau. Why would I move from it? I really don't think... I don't think I really have to edit Rainbow anymore. I mean, she's a focus, but Twilight's going to be such a... what everybody's looking at until the very end, so I really don't even need that much detail. There was a time when I was starting out the animation thing that I had thought about it, and I'm like, would I want to make a career out of this? And that lasted like a week or something. Not even. I don't want to. I actually found a job that I like and that has the potential for high level career opportunities down the road, and they like me there. So I was like, why would I change from that to something that it'd be a super risky industry where usually you're just manual labor? Being an animator means that they tell you what to make, and that completely goes against the rules when I started of I make what I want. So not everybody can be a Monty Ohm or get lucky like Monty did. Though he went through his struggles to get to that point too, though. So it's not wanting to take up animation the whole thing, where once something becomes extrinsically That's a fun word. Motivated tends to become more of a chore than a hobby. Well, you can have a hobby that you can make into a job and it's fine. But it just depends on what you value in that hobby. To me, I value the freedom and flexibility, and in being creative, whatever the medium is. And in a job, that part is, at least for a long time, when you start, gone. So, well, you might have a little bit of flexibility. What if it's a project that you're not interested in? What if it's like let's say that I joined a game studio and they started working on a horror game. I'm not a big fan of that type of thing. It's really not my genre. So would I find entertainment in working on it? Probably not. So I don't want to be stuck like that. So right now with my job, I'm actually allowed a lot of creativity, creative flexibility in how I do my job. When I ask people how should I go about something, I'm usually told you do it your way, which is like, that's one of the things I like about it. Yeah, you don't get a lot of creative freedom, and so yeah, I don't want that. I like to express. Like I used to do halo photography and then website development, and then all that. It was all as a hobby that I got to just do my way. And anytime I started trying to expand and do it other ways, taking commissions or stuff like that, it was lost. I lost all the fun. So I try not to do that stuff. Even collaborative works, I try to stay away from. Okay, so she starts moving right about here, so I need to have something with her moving here. I can cheat this a little bit. I love cheating. We're gonna take all Twilight except for her face. So she's down right here. I'm not gonna take her head though. And we're gonna say, I'm just gonna take this point. I'm just going to partially play it. Let's say it like that. You know, actually, because this is a lot of ball manipulation, I'm going to have to playhead this quite a bit more. Yeah, look at her. She's just skipping around. You know, I don't know if I like that position. I think this one might work better. Maybe not. I think she's in the same position between those two. Maybe this one? Maybe if I move it back to there. I'm gonna say let's go for it. Thing that I need to do though is balance out her motion, because right now she's just kind of sliding forward. So I'm gonna put her neck up a little. Where's your head? There, whatever. Just do the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna have your head lift a little bit. I know it's going down now, so I have to put it down. Actually, I might have to raise it up then. I'm gonna take everything from her. I'll include the head. Just smooth it quick. Is my music playing today? It does seem on the lower end, doesn't it? I don't want to blow my head out, so is that a little better? Actually, you know what? I don't have to turn it head up here. Just turn it up here. Okay. Let me know if that's better. I just evened them out. Okay. Because I don't want to make it so that one is super loud, the other one isn't, and then suddenly, like, Twilight goes to talk and...
You ever see that basketball movie with the song about flying?
and then she's like super loud or something, but it sounds like it's pretty. I always want to make this slightly louder than the audio, and then me blaring or whatever. Okay, so right now Twilight is literally just kind of sliding forward. So what I'm going to do is take here. So I want to have it so that she can slide forward. That's fine, as long as her head isn't sliding forward too. See, that works. So now it's not like she's on a conveyor belt moving forward by offsetting her head a little bit. That should work. And I believe I can make her breathe, but it's probably not good. This is the one thing I don't like about breathing flexes, is if you have clothing. Ooh, that actually works pretty good with the clothing. Ooh, okay. I thought that was going to be a problem. For this one, it's okay. But normally when you use something like this, if there's clothing involved, you're going to have it clipping through the clothing. In a way, it's still kind of doing that, but it's fine for this one. Okay, her eyes definitely, because my for her eyes, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it the way I wanted to. But my thought is if you're a scientific type pony, you would probably be wanting to analyze stuff, especially if it's being scienced. Meaning that she's probably not just staring; she's trying to evaluate. So that means a lot of eye movement. But I just don't. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this right. There we go. Guess for science. But the way I see it too is, okay, so if your eye is twitching and moving around, your eyelids will also move, and because that's how your eyes work. So if you look down and if you just feel your eyelid, you look down, then you look up, your eyelids will actually follow to try to stay within the range of your eye. And so with the ponies, it should technically do that too. So like here, you can see her eye goes and looks up a little bit. So I should offset that a little bit. Usually if it's going left and right, I'm not too worried about that. The bulja. So I'm gonna have this raise a little bit and have the relax go away a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna spread that out. See if I can delay it a little bit with it. No, delaying stupid. Okay, and there's the other twitch here, but that's just to the side, so I'm not too worried about that. That's the one I'm worried about. When it goes to look up, I might have her head twitch a little bit too. Just so then there's more movement. I mean, I don't have to have this. Why can't I? Where is your head? Oh, you're not. It's because I'm selecting a rainbow. There it is. Okay, that makes sense. I wonder if I can. I might have her head move a little bit There, that should work. Ball trucker. Okay, she does hit another point, I think, here of not much movement. I'm gonna go and grab Oliver again. So when she gets to the peak here, I want to have her, or up right here. So I'm going to have her start drifting back to her original spot, which is this one. Okay, when she goes up here, it essentially just looks like she's pivoting from her butt. So I'm going to cheat this one again. We're going to lock chest 1, we're going to grab pelvis, and we are going to see if we can just separate this a little bit. Okay, sometimes if you can't tell, just make it extreme. Hello, Kelchan. Okay. Sorry. Sister's doing stuff, and I need to make sure she didn't need help. Let's see if we can actually have the butt kind of... Actually, that works. She's got a mobile butt now. I wonder if I can add that to a couple different spots. Let's just, like, make the butt go down here. I mean, I did an extreme on that one, and it ended up being what I wanted. I don't know what it is. It's, well, she's using the enhanced models, and the enhanced models have cheek and butt jiggle bones, because why not? And the cheeks, I understand, they actually are kind of nice, because it allows, when they're locked, you can then grab them and move them, which has some minor uses. But the butt jiggle, I can understand maybe having a butt jiggle, but what I don't understand is why it is like JELLO. There is no part of the human body or any body of a fleshy surface that bounces that much with motion. It's like she's got a trampoline tush, and it just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense to me. Somebody put the elastics too high on it. It's easy to get rid of. Actually, if I just consider rainbow done right now, I can fix that. So we're just going to go and first unlock, and then Bake. Oh, well, okay. No, actually, I want to see a beer belly. Beer bellies tend to be like a stiffer, like a stomach. But yeah, there are some people out there that would wobble like that, but not with the like the Rainbow Dash tush. That's what doesn't make any sense. She's supposed to be an athlete. I don't think she's gonna have that much like floppy tush material. So here you can see, so this is her cheeks, when she turns. Those I don't want moving. I almost never have them move. So I'm just going in. Then the butt. Like, look at this. Look at this. Butts do not move like that. I mean, all you can see right here, because she stops moving, is just the butt wobble. I don't want that. Oh, go away. Be a normal butt. Yes, word of the night, floppy tush material. Okay, other things that I need to fix on her. For one, her tail, I didn't actually finish animating her tail, but the angle I can see, it's not going to matter too much. Things I don't want to see with her. I do not want to see open wings. Actually, I'm just going to hide those. Don't care about those. Don't care about that. Okay, that reduced it quite a bit. So the tail would go down. Tail 3. Okay, that's enough detail for that. Her front hair looks to be doing okay. Actually, it does really good. The only thing I don't like about it is I think the delay here. So for this hair, needs to be quicker. That's better timing. Other things, her hair right here probably shouldn't be clipping the bandage. You can clip some, but not in an awkward way. So that's fine there. Not in a way that is impossible, where suddenly it, like, the middle of it clips or something. Hello, Very Zoned. Welcome back. Her ears here are too floppy. That's the other thing I think that they overdid on these. So I'm going to just add my own. Can't really see this one, but I just want to get it out of the way. I wonder if does it work to have these go down? To me, I don't think that's technically something here. Or that fits. No. These are too floppy at other parts. When she goes to turn her head up, this should have a little bit more reaction. Okay. And her back hair here clips her wing. So from here to here. And it does, okay, so the hair works here, but I have to get it there. So from here to here. So let's just, I'm gonna raise that up a little bit, I think. Just turn it. I'm gonna use the hair jiggle bone. I think there's only the one bone for this too. Yeah. And then it kind of, I'm going to stop there. I don't want it to actually keep going. In. And I can delay it a little bit, and it's coming, I guess. And then have it kind of settle. Actually, I'll do it the other way. It's clipping her head a little bit too. So from here to here. So this needs to. Ugh. This is a fun one. You know what? As long as it's not actually clipping, I just don't think I'm going to care. So right here it is. I'm going to do something really weird. I'm going to lock jiggle 2. Because I don't want that one to move. I'm just trying to prevent the clip. Oh, I don't even know if I can do it with just the hair back here. No, I can't. I'm just going to try to cheat. So there, let's see if this works. Moves too much at that point. And then not enough here. Let's move that there. Okay, fine, but then it's also hitting. Ugh. Because it's clipping her wing now. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to take hair back, raise it up. Have hair. Because this is the one thing I don't like about the hair. So it's pre-bent without a secondary bone, which means good luck trying to make realistic motion with essentially a piece of cardboard. I want to know is, why is this even moving like that? I wonder. So when it gets to this point, instead of when it's done, I'm gonna see if I can do that. No, it's got to be. So this is going to be what actually works good for that, but then it doesn't look good after she moves. I might just say frick it and go with it as it is. I feel like by adding more motion to it, I'm actually drawing, realistic or not, I'm drawing attention to it. And at that point, then I'm just making it more of a problem. What have you missed? What you work? I don't know what you've seen. Yeah, that's what I said. It seems too much of a or I'm drawing attention to it. There's round. So I'm gonna see if I can just reduce its impact. Ugh, maybe not that much. See, now this should work fine because you're going to, when she moves, you're gonna look, because right now you're gonna be looking at Twilight. But as soon as Rainbow starts moving here, you're going to look at her. But you're going to immediately jump to the eye and look at her eyes. So you're not even going to be paying attention to the hair at all. It's some of the same reasons that, like, when they do some of the, like, CinemaSin type things with the show where they go and look up the smear frames. You don't notice that stuff when you're going through because that's not what you're looking at. So I'm okay with having certain errors because nobody's going to pay attention to it. Okay. I think Rainbow can be called done. Is her eye... Oh, okay, she is set to go down with her eyes. I think actually she can have her eyes start lower here. Okay, if it does, I need to pull it a little bit to the right. I wonder if I should change the background to be like, more spacey, starry. I'll you know what? I'm just gonna put that as a secondary.
That basketball movie?
Okay, this is definitely not red anymore.
You ever see that basketball movie with the song about flying? Song about flying?
Okay, her mouth here.
About the song about the song about
I don't like that B.
movie with the song about flying? You ever see that basketball movie with the song about flying? Basketball movie with the song about flying.
It's fine.
Flying with the song about flying. Song about flying. Flying. Flying with the song about flying. Song about song about flying. With the song about flying. You ever see that basketball movie with the? You ever see that basketball movie? Movie with the song about. Movie with the song of. Basketball movie with the song about. You ever see that basketball movie with the song about? With the song of. With the song about. With the song about that basketball movie with the song about flying?
That looks better. Oh, the star effect there. That's utilizing Genma's augmented, because we're coming up with new words for models because we're running out of cool ones. So it's his augmented one. It's on DeviantArt. But we did figure out that you don't actually need to download them to use them. You actually only need to do an override. So for these ones, I think he said he was going to make a separate download for them, but the textures that he has have various frames. So the texture itself is built like a GIF. These ones have been out for quite a while, but they're just super memory intensive because all these a VTF texture that SFM uses is lossless. So whatever you give it, it's recording essentially every pixel. It's not compressing it at all. Because of that, no matter the size, the physical size of the image, it's always going to be the same size, and file size. And so if you start adding multiple frames to these, you're just drastically increasing the size of stuff. And because the eyes are something that are focused on with a lot of detail, you want to have a high or a high resolution, so you can get these enormous file sizes. So if we look at our override for the eyeball, I think medium, yeah. So so I do an override of the iris, which is the texture on an eyeball, that's the pupil, and I have it override to what his is on his augmented models. So it's saying the pupil L2. So that's just the one that has the star on it. And then I also added an override for iris frame, and so that is what gives me the frames for like of the texture. So it says for this one, do this frame, this frame, this frame, this frame. And then I utilized and you can see over here. Oh no, it looks like it's not going to show me the values here. Maybe it's just doing an average. But if I turn off my scene hierarchy, you can see I added in, because you can't do this with scene hierarchy on. You can create a animation set for a property on a VMT. Is that a VMT? VMT? Yeah. Valve material. VMF. I can't. Whatever the text version. And so if you right click one of these, you can say, I think it was this one. Where's this one? Yeah, okay, there we go. Because this one already has one, that's why. So if I click one of these, it has this option to create animation set for element. What that does is it lets me create an actual like flex of sorts for a texture. The only time that works though is with float, and that I know of. I don't know. You could probably do it for like some other types, but float's gonna be the one that works because it has to be a single number between two values, and that's a float. So I just have it here. I have it with the iris frame, basically telling it what frame of the texture to be at what time. I don't want to have it be a like round these, because I want to know what frame it is during that frame period. If I were to blend these all together and do something like this, would be a similar result. It does mean that some of these frames might be cut because it's rendering at this frame right here. And actually, because of how I'm doing it, none of the stars are actually perfectly clear. They actually are always blending between, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I'm not sure. I'll have to render it to see. But I wanted to make sure that that these are at that value is constantly changing, not like some arbitrary rounded value doing it for me. But yeah, I don't know why though. If you do an animation set on a texture, you can't see them if you have scene hierarchy on, because you can see that they're here now, but if I turn on scene hierarchy, they're gone. That's a Valve thing. So, and now it also locks these values because it's being tied to the float. Other good or other fun uses for it is you can tie alpha to it, and alpha is not just a 0 or 1. There are like semi-transparent things you can do. It works good for 0 through 0.999, being that if it already is slightly transparent, you can make it slowly drift away into fully invisible. But the difference between 0.999 and 1 is drastic. I can actually I can show that to you here. So let's add attribute float. Oh, not this one. So we need, let's go to let's go open up rainbow here. But yeah, maybe this one. Okay, so this is going to be slightly horrifying, but we'll just ignore that for a bit. So right now it's saying 0, she's invisible, 1, she's fully there. But this is a float. So if we go and right click here, say create animation set, alpha, okay. And then we go into our scene hierarchy off. You can only see the body. So this is fully invisible. And you can see that I can actually make her fade in now. The problem is it doesn't fade perfectly to something that is not transparent. So as you get closer, you're going to see that she's becoming more and more visible. But like right here, this background does not like transparency. It's usually skyboxes that have this like problem with it. Even this tree definitely doesn't like it. So you're going to have that issue. But even that aside, if you look at her legs here, so you can see them between them, as she goes more and more, as soon as she gets 1, she just pops. So it's not going to be working very good for like doing a fade from fully visible to not visible because of this little gap right here. But for other than that, like going from this to having her pop up, actually it's not too bad. The only thing is, if you're trying to make a ghost effect, this is not a good one, because as you can see, her eyes are also visible through everything. So and like all her teeth. So not the best way to go about that. There we go. But it is an option that's there. It's not just for pony bodies. If you actually want to make something fade in and out of existence, the best way to do that is to do 2 different renders. So let's say that you do want to have somebody that's either semi-transparent or somebody that is fading in and out, separate from the rest of the video. What you can do is do 2 renders. This will require outside software. So render this entire scene, and then go through, turn them off, and then render it again. And then in post, you just overlay one on top of the other with some kind of opacity. You don't have to worry about other things in the scene, like, oh, are they going to be out of focus because they're moving differently? No, it's SFM. There's no random. Even when it's random, it's to a seed number, so the random is set in how it's going to act. So even particles will act the exact same as the second time. So I did that in in Remembrance. her ghostly friends are walking here. I didn't use alpha. I used 2 separate renders, and so that one of them was like this, and then I literally just had them fade into the shot. The problem with doing it this way is that, or one of the benefits of doing it this way anyway, is that I don't see them through themselves. It's like they were really there. The one of the bad parts though is by making them half visible, they are then kind of darker and don't really feel like they belong where they are. They just literally feel like a faded part. So when I did this, Applejack here, and actually I can show you what the actual renders look like. But I had to boost up their brightness, so their textures were twice as bright. So like here, yeah. So this is the one render without anybody in it. Those are test renders because I wanted to make sure things worked. And then this is actually what they look like. So they were very bright. They were set to ignore shadows so that they were, or they were set to self-illuminate so that they would glow on all sides to make it feel ghostly. So yeah, they were all set that way. We only did the one test. Oh, this is all shots. I thought it was just going to be the couple bits. So yeah, you can see here how bright they are. That's why you do test renders, so you're not wasting your time. It is the same thing at the end. I rendered the whole thing with Celestia, the whole thing with all their friends, oops, so that at the end here, when I boost the brightness, and then I literally just swap to the other shot. And it works. It's the same thing I did when I got rid of her wings here. No, this one actually, I think I used alpha. Yeah, because here, because of the transition, I could swap the texture to alpha and nobody would really notice. And the particle effect that erupts from the center over here, right here, that it kind of goes outwards, that's actually done in After Effects. Because it looked way better in After Effects than I could do in SFM. And I didn't have to worry about tracking because it's basically sitting still. So, hell, even After Effects was used. You can, oh no, not this version. This version, you can see the windows just looks plain. There's no impact feel, but if in the final, this one, well, not that far. This effect was done over again, but you can actually see that there's a bulging. So the I added a, what do they call it, a sphere effect or something, where I have the entire video essentially imploding on itself, and then when the impact hits, do the opposite, and it completely inverts and shoots the video outwards. It is video overlaid on top of each other, and it fades so that it cuts in then fades out, so that as this goes, I think I can, I thought there's a way to do it by frame. Oh, no. So you can actually see that effect exploding outwards, and I love that. That made that feel way more impactful. So. I feel like the little shockwave effect is not centered. Whatever. The one thing that kind of sucked though is that when I rendered that in 4K, I forgot to remove the black bars from the render. So it was rendered with the black bars. So when I went to go do that shockwave effect, I couldn't. I had to keep it within the black bar range because otherwise I'd literally pull the black bar up, which you should try to always remember to remove those filters and add them in post so that you can do that stuff without having to worry about it.
With the song about flying. You ever see that basketball movie with the song about flying? This is just like that. This is just flying. This is song about flying. This
Why can I not select your head? Oh, because it's like hiding in your hair, isn't it?
Flying. This about flying. This about a song about flying. This is with the song about flying. This. Song about flying. This is just like that. This is flying.
Okay, now that I have a little more time, I can see if I can play with Rainbow. Or try this one more time with Rainbow. Okay, that actually works pretty good. Let's see if... Oh, that's your eyes.
About flying. This flying.
No, if there's like a special effect or something, or like you're wondering how the hell did you do that in something I made before, just let me know. Because not everything's most things are done in SFM. I try to minimize post effects whenever possible because I feel like if the engine can do it, I'll just do it in there. And some people are like, well, I don't want to have to learn how to do 12 different pieces of software. You don't. You just have to learn how to utilize the one better.
You ever see that basketball movie with the song about flying? This is just like that. This flying. This is flying. This is just like that. Flying. This is just like that.
One thing I wish SFM had was the ability to animate outside of frame. So, like, being able to manipulate the model at this point, because even though it's outside of frame, I might not want that full end piece, just a nice drift bit. Yeah, I have no idea how to edit models. Like, you don't need to know how to model you don't need to know how to model, but if you want to use it in SFM, you have to know how to manipulate what's there. So modifying textures, utilizing resizing. The more you know about textures, the better. For instance, how to use like the alpha layer on a texture to potentially remove part of a texture but not the rest, and dealing with some of the consequences of using that method. So the more you know, the better. But SFM has a lot of capability to it, even if it's just working outside. It kind of looks like Greek, but it's just working outside of its normal limitations, or finding creative ways to utilize the same tools.
This is just like that. This is.
Okay, I want to see. Okay. How people would how do they utilize backgrounds when they do the stars? Because like this one is super bright, but I don't think that's gonna be that's not the kind of thing I'm looking for. Something like this, or at least closer to that. I thought there would be. Well, there we go. I'm not seeing kind of what I'm looking for though. I'm thinking that the best way to do it is to have stars that are changing in size in the background, but I don't think, at least I'm pretty sure, there's no star model. Yeah, it's just Pwn. I don't know, I'm all loaded, but I'm almost 100% sure I don't. But one thing that I probably can utilize is a gobo light. Save because this might crash me. Set gobo. Let's see if we can find a star. That's no. See, that is a star, but it comes with other stuff, and I don't want the other stuff. If I need to, I'll make my own. No, I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah, because like let's say because the main things are if you can manipulate the texture and you can look at a model that exists and see it for what it isn't. So for instance, like needing to like How do I lock magic to a horn? Do I need another horn model? No, I just jam a log in her head. It's not a log, it's a different tool. I'm trying to think of creative uses for other models. Utilizing various boards and types of boards to put together a building. Trying to think of some of the creative solution ones I've done. For instance, on the Full Metal Alchemist one, I don't know if I covered this on when you were here, but this was utilizing a model that it's think of your problem and think of things that can solve it. And chemistry had one that was I think just there was a couple that I think I used in here. This is an old version of it, so it's probably not going to be what I'm looking for. So it's one of the reasons that when I'm going through models, I'm not just looking at models for what I need, I'm also looking at it for what it could be used for, so they just keep it. You can't think of create a solution to something if you haven't spent the time knowing what you have. Yeah, this is an old one. Or too old. I think this is the one. Okay. So for here, to get that effect here, because in the anime, that's what they did. They had this like liquid effect come in, and I was like, well, how the hell am I going to do that? Even if I wanted to do it in post, I really didn't know how to do it in post very well too. So I thought, well, if I don't know how to do it in After Effects, how would I go about doing it in something I do know in SFM? So the solution I came up with was, so this is a light. It's a negative light. So it's a light with a 0 or a, you look at my lights here, pentagram. No, not that pentagram apparently. Yeah, so this one. If you actually look here in the values, it's the minimum is negative and the max is 0. So I'm not actually making a positive light, I'm making a negative dark light, which is going to give me that outline that I want. So it's not an actual texture, it's literally just a light. Then I have here this model, which is a version of a water model, which is a big round model. But I knew that in this water bit, there was a bunch of bones in the center. And all these bones manipulate, let's not grab the body there, manipulate the texture in some way or another. So I took this water texture, I took the position, the vertical position of all the pieces, and I just randomized it as much as possible, threw them all different directions, and that created an uneven surface. Then I modified the texture itself to enable light to hit it, like so it would be shadowed, because the water otherwise wouldn't be shadowed. So I modified it to make it have shadows. They kind of broke the texture, but that's fine. I didn't need it for its texture. But now light would not pass through it like it was shadowed. So when I shine light through this uneven surface, it will, and I wonder if I can see it if I make volumetrics. Oh no, not really, because this is dark. But so as the light's going through this, it's only passing through parts of it at once, creating that kind of liquid effect. And so I just kept playing with the randomization of it until I got one that looked like it was fairly balanced for all the way around the entire texture. And it worked. So Yeah, hell, even like when the big red one comes up here, this is also a light. It's a volumetric light with a very, very, very thin area, and then it's tied to the camera, so it's perfectly in front of the camera, so that you just see it perfectly, and so it gives a nice glow. And then at the end here, when I wanted it to come into the camera like that, I literally just decreased its minimum so it came at the camera. So, creative solutions. I'm thinking there's pretty other ones here. This one, that was in After Effects. Wow, this is broken because I have to switch maps. I didn't retexture her hooves there. That's actually more negative lights. Well, there it is, trans circle. Yeah, so there it is. And I just tied it to her hoof. In this one, I actually use negative lights to darken the edges, because but yeah. Anyways, creative solution stuff. I could go on forever. This one, though, has a lot of memory usage, so it's going to crash as soon as I open up the other one, so I'm just going to preemptively do it. I'm going to pre-crash. Oh yeah, I'm going to make this texture now, so that open. New. So I want to have a pretty high quality star, but I don't need to go too high, so I'm going to do 1024. So this is going to be for a light. So we're going to wait for my monitor to come back. There we go. The textures will show up black, or black shows up as no light at all, so I want to make that black to begin with. Let's look at what we have for custom shapes. One fairly standard star. I think that one should work. Because everything else is kind of like explodey looking. Like this, I want that. So and I want to make this white. I want it as centered as possible. And it looks like it's centered. Okay. Okay, that should work. Okay. Save as. Materials. Gobo. Hello, Michael. Star. Let's go open this one. Import. So I just need to make it a VTF. Nice thing about Gobos is you don't actually need to have a VMT attached to it. I need a clamp everything because otherwise the texture extends past its boundaries. Save as. We're going to save this as indigo bolt. Just put star. Okay, that's really all I need for that. Now, a little something on your face there, Twilight. I'm going to look up star again. That's not the star I want. There it is. Okay, so I have this texture now. Textured light of a star. Perfect star. But I need to make this go behind Twilight. So the node. To do that, I'm going to do a couple things. For one, I'm going to make this a Nuber light. I am then also going to make this a volumetric light. So you can see a whole bunch. And then we're just going to minimize that to as little as we can. So there's my star right now. So let's go to 250 to... No, apparently I can't do that. Oh, that's fine. 250 at... Actually, I'm going to make that smaller. I'm going to go 100 to 150, 125. 150, 125. Okay. Now, as long as we're looking at it straight on, it actually works. So I'm going to make this smaller. Okay, if we're going to do this, I have to move Twilight. Ooh, I looked at textures. Come on, where's my green screen? You used to always pop up right when I hit 1024. There it is. I always like doing this one because it's an enormous green screen. And I can just use it for anything. Like, boom. Okay, so now we go and grab this light again. Now I can technically move it further back. And I want to have this look right at the camera. So like this. Good. So this is what it would look like. So we're just going to buff up the brightness. I have to be really careful because this could actually go and hit our eye. So instead I'm just going to buff up the volumetric intensity. For this shot, I probably don't... I want to have it be cartoony, and you can see that these stars, because I'm utilizing a light, glow. I don't want it to glow. So for this one shot, I'm actually going to take the bloom and reduce it. I don't mind having it go a little bit, but not like that. You can see I'm removing a lot of it from the eyes too, but again, don't really care. There. So that should be fine. I also don't want to have any aperture, because this is supposed to be cartoony. Just in case on the... Okay. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe a little bit might be nice. It's not really going to affect the light very much. It just depends on whether or not I have any other textures back there. So, the reason that having this with the light is nice is because what I can do is have it go like and appear and disappear. I think I'll start with, is that the minimum I can go? Okay, so I'm going to remap these then. So if I go 0, it's literally invisible. Awesome. So I'm going to stay at 0, and I'm going to say for like, right here, the star comes into existence. And then goes away. Okay. And then for that period of time, it's spinning. Look at that. Only thing is it is not aimed right at the camera, which I can actually figure that out now. So to get it aimed right at the camera, I'm gonna go all the way down, or right, I'm gonna go a little bit up, and then I'm gonna go far past. We're going to drop. So I go until essentially the lines intersect. Okay, and then I'm gonna go. Same thing here. There. That should be about as centered as possible. Now, how does the motion blur work on this? Okay, it's still a star. That's all I cared about. So that's spinning. Okay, so that's fine. So now I'm going to say this is star 1. Now I potentially want to have more of these. So they probably don't want to be white. I'm probably going to think she's purple. Her eyes are purple. Let's go with purple. So we'll make it purple. Problem is now these all have to be turned to look at the camera. That's gonna be close enough. Okay, so now it does this little circly spin thing. That's nice. But do I really want to have them at the same time? No. Let's untime it, yes. So do that. Let's put another one up Let's put another one over here. But for this one, we're going to make this a little different. For one, it should actually aim at the camera. Alright, let's get it back in shot. Okay. But I don't want to have them all like the same size and everything. So let's shrink it. We're going to grab our horizontals and we're going to say in. So I'm taking all the horizontal FOVs, which determines the size. The beginning of it is 0, so I'm just going to grab in, which is 0, and do it until I find a good size. So let's just do that size. Hello. Now these other ones seem quicker because they're starting from a larger size. Because of that, I'm going to actually take this one and speed it up so that it feels like it's the same speed. I think I might need to get rid of some of the other bloom. Okay, no, that's not going to matter too much. I felt like the bloom when it was like this small was a little bit much. But when it actually blurs, it's fine. Is that... I think these might be too quick. Can I just set the scale on these? No. Poop. That'd be nice. Now I think about it. Oh, the spin's the same speed, that's fine. Just wanted to make sure I got everything with it, but I did. So let's see if I can slow down some of these, just to see what that does. Yeah, I kind of like it slowed down a little bit more. need something down here. When do I want it? What about here? Okay, put one here, and then one more after that, and I should be good on that. There's a couple other things I still need to add, but okay, and one more up here. Okay. This up a bit more. Okay, I just want to fill the whole screen. It looks like I am. Okay. So I have my star wall, but it's not really shimmering. It's just there. I don't know that. This is emit to maintain count. I don't want that. We're gonna go and add in instead emit continue. Say emit continuously. They're set to fade and decay. I want them to fade in and out at this even amounts. So I'm actually going to just add in alpha fade and decay just to get the defaults. They're not really fading though. Lifetime, ooh, that's too quick. Or too long. Let's do 0.5 to 1. Okay. They're kind of popping in. I'm just going to do the cheat. Fade in simple. Still popping. There we go. So it had a start alpha of 0, or I mean start alpha of 1, and 1 means visible. So it's saying start out visible and then fade to visible. No, that doesn't make any sense. So it's end alpha, which is 0. So start alpha 0, end alpha 0. Doesn't have like a mid alpha? I guess that's just assumed 1. Okay. Color. We don't want blue, we want purple. Okay. But we will. Actually, you know what? I want to make. I don't want to make this pure purple. I want to have it kind of. So we'll do that. Okay, and radius random. Oh, let's vary the size a little bit. Sure. Let's see what that looks like. Sure, but these are very dim. Alpha 10 to 150. How about 255 to 255? Which essentially, I mean, I don't even need the value then, but okay. So that does make it kind of work. The blur might ruin it a little bit, so I might get rid of it. But the other thing is getting it. So what kind of lighting or what do I want to put in the background along with this? So I could use a volumetric light as well, but I don't know. I don't like doing that because sometimes it makes those particle effects kind of disappear. I can use a texture, but if I use a texture, I'd have to figure out best way to go about that. Well, let me use a volumetric light at first. And see how that works, and I can go from there. She blinded. I'm behind the screen already, yeah. See, the problem with the light is it kind of makes it feel like it takes the 2D out of what I'm going for. See, that works a bit better. So it's like kind of as an aura instead. If I actually make it tighter and then make it lighter. Actually, you know what? I might be able to do this with 2. Okay, that's not gonna actually work. Because they're kind of all volumetric. So I'm going to make one of them, and that's going to be this one. I'm going to make this one. Well, we'll do that, and then we'll find a midground. Let's do this. We're going to make this one probably a good bit bright. We'll do like that. And then we'll do a second one where we drop the brightness and expand it. Okay, if we do this, probably need to play with her lighting a little bit because it's a little bit bland. I don't want to get rid of the lights though, just in case. So we're gonna go for, forgot this one is a similar boat to the previous. Get rid of the other ones. Okay. Put it like as close to the edge as possible because she's not moving here, and make it super bright like this. So we're gonna say this is go in 12. Yeah, this is 12. Oh, well, hopefully I can give you some stupid and I'll cheer you up. Overly ambitious, or I think if I turn the shadow on for this, I don't want it hitting the nose because that just gets weird looking. I wonder if I can do it with the other two. But then it's gonna get the hair. Be able to work around this. Nah, trust me, I know how this. You know how many projects I've started and quit because there was no possible way I was going to be able to cut or complete it. So I try to start with the hard stuff because at least then you know your limits. Okay, if I do not available. Music decided to be stupid. So I just want to make sure, because I did that, that I'm not going to have the light suddenly cut off somewhere. That's fine. This I'm going to do the same thing with then. So if you do something long enough, I can understand. Like your own personal standards go up to an unbeatable level. That's actually one of the reasons that I really don't want to make big stuff much right now, because it feels like I have to go bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it's like you hit a wall where if you want to hit the threshold that you are looking for, it's going to be something you're going to work on for 2 years, and you're never going to be happy with it. I had to like just step back and redo my whole outlook on stuff, but doesn't mean that's easy. but I had to just kind of back away for a while and reevaluate my priorities. I think this angle is what's going to throw me off here. I think if I... No, and I have to keep her on that angle. Does that work? That works. Okay, so I can just bump up this. Well, no, I'm constantly trying to... I'm still working always towards content for YouTube. It's just that I've slowed down a little bit because, for a lot of the same reasons, is a lot of my projects started becoming super ambitious because my outlook was becoming bigger. But then they just started taking longer and longer because you know what you're capable of, and so you want to strive for that bar or higher. And so I've been trying to do small stuff instead, because it's the only. Otherwise, I was gonna drive myself fucking crazy. Okay, so we'll do that. Now this one will drop brightness. Looking for like that anime-esque, but like like this, that feeling of like energy. So I think I'm gonna keep a little bit of the shadow there, so we'll do that. So I just want a little bit of the glow, and I wonder if I should get rid of her butt. No, I do the streams. I've been doing these streams like twice a week for 4 years. Well, 2 years. Once a week for I think like a year and a half. Okay, let's get that glow. Why did I put those in actors? Not acting. And then one more light. Let's just get the color from this one. We're gonna put that. Turn off shadows. There. Whoa. Well, that's interesting. Those lit up different than I thought they would. Okay, if I do like a center lighting, does that look better than just lighting it overall? Yeah. Well, and actually I can get away with that because she doesn't really move her eyes. No, I'm not. There's plenty of people better than me. I've went through... Okay, why is it... Usually it only tells me my YouTube is unavailable if I'm listening to it on my phone. So I'm not sure why it's... An error occurred. YouTube, you're drunk. YouTube is broken. apparently. Yeah, like literally, it's just... Here, let me try this. We're just gonna open a new YouTube. Yeah. Okay, so YouTube is being stupid for you too. Let's check. Haha, that works. Oh wait, maybe. Oh, okay, it does. Let's see if I can cheat it. Okay, I can't. Damn. I was gonna try using YouTube Music. I was gonna see if it was different, but I guess not. Okay. Well, the problem is, I do not actually have any music that I can guarantee won't copyright to play otherwise. So, we're just gonna have to go with silence. It's kind of actually creepy. No. I was thinking, I'm like, oh wait, no, I have something I can play, and then it ended up that wouldn't really work because it was on YouTube. But actually, I have another way of going about it. I will just pull up some of my time lapses because those ones have a bunch of stuff in it. And I know it's ad free, or it won't block me completely. This is an archaeology college, and it was 3D animation displayed from people who graduated and animated for huge tier games and movies, and I was like, yeah, Art go better. Well, if it's gonna be down, then I am just gonna get rid of that thing at the bottom right. Okay. Let's drag it down a little bit. There we go. Well, the thing is people that are doing it in college and whatever, they're doing things from a different aspect. They're essentially they're told again what to make, and they're given like professional tier software. I'm not working in any of that. Sorry, I'm gonna. So I admire the people that actually go to school for that stuff and are able to accomplish it. I think that's it's not easy, and it's expensive as hell, especially for a job that you really don't get the pay right off the bat to even support that. Head. And this is what I'm playing is from a time lapse, and they take quite a bit of time to put together, but I think that they're kind of interesting. I do want to try to keep making more if people want me to. You know, I'm gonna probably still do a general light, so I'm gonna just keep this as the star. The only thing it takes a while because I go through the entire video and cut out, like, whenever I go and do like this error, because I do this all the damn time, which is I'm not in the editor. So when I go to it, it's like, you can't manipulate it here, and I have to go to here to manipulate. I go and cut the frames out of that. I cut any time that I'm talking and I'm not moving the camera to keep it a consistent frame speed. That all takes a lot of time, but it makes it less jarring, I guess. Oh, he does. Mitty's cool. So this should follow her eyes. Okay. I guess I probably need to do that. There we go. I just need something to go back out here. These are still white lights, I think, right? Yeah, that's fine. Oof. Maybe I will go with a little bit of purple. Oh, it's blue. I'm like, why did that go yellow? Let's go a little bit. Okay, now what works for these? I love this song. I forgot the name of this one. I don't have it on here. It's Thomas Bergerson, I know that. Final Frontier, that's the name of it. I originally had an idea for this song, for this end part, because I love this part of the song. And for having a, like some kind of a scene in slow motion where somebody was walking through it in normal time. I thought that would have worked really well with this part. I always have ideas for like a part of the song, but then it's like, do I want to fill in the whole song? No. I do want to go and like just gank that part what I have an idea for and just make that one part and ignore the rest of the song. I have a couple of different ones like that. Okay, oh, yeah, so if I get rid of her butt, so I'm going to lock her chest too, and if I drag the pelvis down, is that better? If I do, I can put another star here. So yeah, I will do that. Let's go back to our stars. So this one is a smaller one, yeah. Okay, I don't want to have it perfectly centered. Put it like here. There's too much green showing. There. Okay. It's too timed with the other one. I'm gonna put this one towards the beginning. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do here. Stars. These particles. These stars are as bright as they're going to get. They're not going to get any brighter unless you just put a whole bunch of them on top of each other. Oh, look at that, they're brighter. You know, I wonder if... Might be... Let's see if these work. No, it would work if it came out in an arc, but it's not. It would come out only in a straight line. So I'm not going to bother with that. With this, this volumetric is passing into her head a little bit. Is that the one causing the issue? Kind of. Alright, so we're going to have to play with this one. I don't remember putting this song on there. Okay. So we're going to back it up a little bit, and then we're going to expand it a teeny bit. We probably have to bump up the brightness a bit too. Okay, and so that works pretty good for down here and here and a little bit here, but right here, kind of missing a little bit. So we need to make up for that. So for that, I'm going to go a little tighter. Really, even that's enough. I don't need anything super or like super bright on that edge. Just something to provide that extra connectivity. So, do I want her face to be overall darker? I mean, yeah, I have it fine for most of it, but oh, these are broken. I'll have to do this twice, actually. Okay. Huh. Kind of like the idea of putting this in the void. Well, okay, maybe not that much. I'm okay with going to just this and then adding a light. For the most part, it's getting larger. I've kind of figured out my stopping point. There, that looks better. What I wanted to do was I wanted to add in a shadow on the nose here. By adding that, it makes it feel like the light's coming from below, and since that's an unnatural place for light, it makes it feel natural and supernatural or magical. So we're looking energy. I'm almost thinking that I should light up the background more, just because if I go pure dark, it feels like a big separation from this. I thought that there's a version of this screen that I have. That's not it. That I had it as a white. No, that's not it. Because I thought I had a version, a skin that was set to not be. Well, you know what? I can just do it right here with this. So we're just gonna go 3. Alpha. There. As far as that actually works. Oh. Why did it go yellow? That's what I was going for. I don't know. Maybe that's better. See, that's not as much of a harsh transition. I'm thinking that I need a blue with a little bit more. I think that's, yeah, that one's done. Let's go to the next one. What's this one? It's only 13 minutes, but still. Is YouTube working again? Nope. YouTube still bork. Maybe a bit more. Too much. Any tips on making me a puzzle for my pony? I want to make a new okay, so yeah, that's weird. All of YouTube being down. I'm not sure on the puzzle for your pony part. Okay, yeah, I need to put this back down. Okay, that's a better blue. I think I just need it to be a brighter blue. We'll do that, and then what is this? This was... I think it's a... Let's put it as a sharp or a deeper blue. Oh, okay. I was curious, like, okay, puzzle for your pony. Sure. I had no idea what the fuck that was. Alright, I'm glad I'm not going crazy. I have no idea. It said it though. A new poster. That's, you know, I have problems with coming up ideas for posters, so that's kind of why I rely on like other people to do it, come up with the ideas for me. Ooh, it's gonna crash again. You'll never know now. No, that's one of the reasons that I actually rely on when I'm trying to come up with ideas for stuff. I like to just ask the streams to come up with the ideas, because I don't know what the hell I want to do. I was actually going to go negative with that, but I don't know. Oh, profile picture. I think you need to do a puzzle now. Now see, though, that's actually pretty... That works kind of cool. Because then I can actually... Let's bump this one up. And go to our rim here. Let's go for a 2000. Oh, that's the glow. I want the glow. It's the rim. Wait, no. I had that right. I'm just going nuts. Okay, that might be a bit too much. You're the prettiest pony, that makes sense. You want more bloom. So, for your picture? Because then, I would say if you're wanting bloom, you're gonna want like some bright type of scene. This kind of looks like I'm making like purple Jesus. Because normally if you want a strong bloom for something, you can't have overly everything bright. Kind of like oh, in talking Photoshop, normally what I do in Photoshop, I don't remember what the name of that one was. Let's see here. Celestia. It wasn't work in progress. What did I name that one? Oh no, it was Daybreaker. That's why I can't remember. I'm not finding it. So Daybreaker, this one. Okay, so for this one, normally for any of the pictures I make, and actually this one I didn't even do it. I think I used right from SFM. But I'll almost always bump up vibrance for pictures because ponies are supposed to be super colorful. So this picture had its vibrance bumped up, and it's going to be pretty minor, but I even do this on my phone now for pictures. And I'll bump it up to 30 something. So what vibrance does is it doesn't take it doesn't increase the saturation. It takes and makes just everything a more balanced, colorful. So if I bump the saturation way up, you're going to get like this. That's not what I want. If you decrease saturation, you get the black and white, which actually is kind of cool. What vibrance does is it just enhances the colors. So in here, even if I go to full max, it actually still looks pretty good. And if I decrease to max, I still have color. So I almost always put this up to like 20 to 40 above. It's really hard to tell the difference, but it does help enhance it quite a bit. Now for levels, the reason I didn't use these in here is because any of the levels I did was gonna ruin or overly brighten some of the areas, and I didn't want that. So the actual picture looked like this. And this was just some really, really bright lights shined on the edges. And some of them aren't like a single light. I think there's one shine for the breastplate, one for the leg, and I've got multiple lights to get it all the edges how I wanted it. And then it's about getting the other lights in there to enhance it a little bit. So there's just one, and so just kind of a volumetric. Not a volumetric. This was done with a. If I go to this, is a lens correction. So I essentially just give it a. Go under here on lens correction, and you go to custom and then vignette. That's all that was. It's just creating a white border. And then I didn't want as much bright coming from that direction, so I got rid of it a little bit. And then with the color dodge, then is it essentially removes the black and keeps the white. So I still kept some bright over here, but I had left most of it over here. I then went and added just a lens flare effect in the corner here. So this one, that's what the lens flare effect looked like. And that's just the cheap one that comes with Photoshop. And then this layer you don't have to worry about. It is a minor thing. It's this one is a softener. So, oh no, this, or was it this one? This one I might have done. It was just an to make everything look a little bit foggier, but kept the eye still clear and focused. Can't remember exactly. It was a while ago. It was either that or it was for the sharpener, or not sharpener, unsharpener, where it fuzzifies some edges. There's gonna be some weird ones for the bad fanfics that I make pictures for them. So yes, Boner was one of them. So yeah, with everything. So yeah, I didn't use levels in here, but normally I will use levels. I guess I'll open up 20 cards. So this is funny because that's the actual one that's playing right now, or how I made it. So normally I will put in levels, and here it is. And so this is what the levels is doing. So levels looks like this. There we go. And what normally levels is doing is it's saying where is your brightness balance. So it's saying between black and white, where is your most amount of everything hitting. And so it's saying that most of everything is kind of in that dark range and kind of that mid range, but there's not much light in bright. Like this little spike right here is probably from the light right here. And so if I push these to the edges, it's going to make it look a little hazier. That's actually how it rendered out. What you want to do with levels is you want to say, you want to try to move these edges in so that you cover the majority of the lighting. So normally I'll push one of them in until it hits one of the edges here. So like in this case, this is about the edge. So I'm going to push this in a little bit. You can see as I keep going with this, it just gets darker and darker. But if I go to that edge, it gets rid of some of that fuzziness. And then for this one, because I don't want to just move it to here, this would be nice and balanced technically, but looks like crap. So it's about just moving it a little bit in to try to get a nice balance for that lighting. So the difference between the two. And again here, vibrance. Doesn't do too much, but it does help. And then there's also like, oh yeah, this is there for the Gmod thing. There's a couple lens flares in here. And I always try to use a vignette on the outside because it helps keep the picture centered. How's the eye glowing? Oh, okay. For that is actually what I'm doing in SFM right now, or did in SFM. So you can shine a light at an eye and only hit an eye. So if I go and look at, or I'll just make it from scratch, just so I make it easier. So if I just take a new light, I'm gonna move it out here. And the two things you have to make sure you do before it works is you have to disable shadows. It doesn't work if shadows are on. And you have to go to the element viewer and you have to turn on Uber light. Now, for some reason or another, an unshadowed light, no matter what, will hit an eyeball. It doesn't matter what's in its way. So, to, well, that can be annoying. It's also super useful. Let me go find another time lapse here to get music out of, because YouTube's stupid. Oh no, I don't want this folder. Maybe it's under here. No, not tutorials. Where did I put it? Was it under here? I'm just stupid. Yeah, I'm just stupid. Let's do this one. All right, so I turned off shadows. I made it an Uber light, and then just you have your cut on and cut off. Just literally invert them. So cut on is low, put it high. Cut off, make it low. So now this light is not going to light anything, but if I point it at the eyes, it will light the eyes. So it just comes down to pointing it somewhere in the eyes to make it light how you want. So in this case, to make it small enough to work with, I normally remap the horizontal FOVs to 212.3, and those values are because it's to make it so I can make it smaller, zoom it into 2 instead of 10, 12 so that I'm not working with such a big bar, and then 3 because I just need to make the default in that range. So then if I zoom in here, I can then light the eye specifically. So otherwise on YouTube's Raptor, I believe, made a tutorial on how to do this too. This is a kind of a poor example one because of the stars in the eyes. So there. You could do that. The difficulty with doing that with animation is that following the eye, because it's not tied to the eyeball, that is annoying. And but sometimes that's the only better way to do it. Locking it to where they're looking might not always work because it could be far away or something. So it just gets a little bit annoying to animate with it. Oh, and because as the eyes go around the eye, your head or their head, it can sometimes change shape. So it's going to be a perfect circle. No. Let me go back here. So the values you need to change is turn off shadows, make it an Uber light, which is in the element viewer, and then go into your cut on and cut off and invert them. So on goes to max, off goes to min. And then you will not have any problem. So you can do it to shine it right on the eyes like this. You can use it to like get the eyes to glow a specific color. So I've actually used it before for stuff like this. So it's pretty useful. In remembrance here, one of the things, and I had to go back through the whole entire video to do, was throughout the entire thing, I have a light shined at her eyes. So you can kind of see it move a little bit, but there's a light shined in her eyes to give that glow effect that her eyes have for everything. Every shot I had to manually manipulate the light to do it. And the only reason I did was because when I looked at it with the light, it just looked way, way better. There was not much of a comparison. Like this shot, having the light reflect and bloom within her eyes was really nice. Celestia, I think it's after here. How her eyes looked much better, having a nice little light in the middle, but it just took forever to get all that done. But definitely worth it. Yes, that's how you make the eye look. Okay, but now I lost that, so we'll just open it again. No, that's fine. Because her head's going up here, I really don't even have to do much in this shot other than lip sync. Because I want to have her enamored. Okay, you can't actually see her wings here, so I don't actually care about the wings then. Just in case, I'm going to bake. Because she's not going to be moving other than just what she's doing, I don't have to worry about these. Well, that's that hair. What's the other hair? Oh, that's these two, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. But she's constantly looking up, so I need to have the hair offset in motion. I think I'm a little bit too fast on that. Actually, I might have her other hair to it too. Head, I believe, actually has like a jerk spot right here. So all her jiggles, she suddenly hits that point. Oh, that's no wonder her head actually didn't change. Oh, what's going on in this? I still have to do the intro for this too. I really don't know if I'm going to have this done in time. See, I don't even remember some of these songs. I just pulled them up random because when I do the time lapses, I'd be like, okay, I fit in a bunch of music and now I have 3.5 minutes to fit, and so I have to find a song that fits 3.5 minutes. Anyway, so this is what I've got so far.
Here are some facts about flying. 1. You need wings to fly. 2. Awesome. You ever see that basketball movie with the song about flying? This is just like that.
So I have to find some more background audio because it kind of gets a little quiet right here. Actually, I thought I had some. This is gonna crash. That's not. I thought so. Thought I'd crash. Anyways, it's 9 o'clock, so I'm just gonna end it there. Can you do a motion editor mini tutorial sometime? Okay, you mean like, well, I guess YouTube's still busted, but I actually have one. I have a motion editor tutorial. It's 25 minutes long. But yeah, on my YouTube, there is, if you go under my tutorials, there is one on motion editor. And that shows how all the buttons are done and stuff. So, yeah, it already exists. But really, all I can do for motion editor is explain how or what the buttons do and stuff, but that's about it. I can't really explain how to utilize it because that's a whole different ball game. So that's fine if YouTube's busted. World's a better place now. I never touch graph editor, so I am very much just motion editor. But again, I've said before, it's not about which one. You should be using both. Graph editor is better for your keyframing and your initial blends and your initial animation. The motion editor is better for the final touch-ups. There's no, I wouldn't say one is superior to the other than if you look at specific uses. Yeah, motion editor is going to be better at some things than the graph editor. Graph editor is going to be better than the motion editor in other aspects. So getting better at both is a good idea. I'm just stubborn. How do you come up with such good ideas to find dialogues and all that stuff? I mean, Mr. Project for a 1-minute animation that I got today and do it in 6 weeks. It's spur of the moment. To to say that I just sat down and came up with an idea, not gonna happen. To me, music is one of my biggest things. So songs will give me an idea's remembrance. The whole thing from that came from the song. I heard that, or I loved that song so much from way before. Another like blah, 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 blah. This one came about because we were goofing around in the stream, and it came up with, let's make a video from this really stupid idea. So it was just all spur of the moment. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. Derpy. Did I forget to? Yeah, I did. The flex. I wouldn't be able to tell you how to come up with an idea for something because it's just literally out of the blue. Things you can do is if you don't want to deal with audio, look up funny cartoons. Try to find a cartoon that has audio that you can utilize. Pinking the Brain is a good one to do that with. Animaniacs in general, but you're gonna have to be doing some lip syncing. If you're just looking for stuff that has no talking, just go in the software, load up stuff, and poke around. Stuff sometimes just stupid ideas come around from it. Browse the internet for pictures of just stuff and see what you like, and just think in the idea of, well, what can I do to animate this? You're just looking for like that trigger, that spark. I stream a lot, or a lot of the video ideas I have come from stream stuff. Like the one I'm working on now is it's audio from Borderlands, the pre-sequel, which was originally just came about because Jay Holler asked wanted the audio from it so that he could do a video from it. Then he had to get caught up in other projects during Anthology, so I took over making it from it. So it's just the Dr. Spara from Borderlands, and just kind of went with it. So all of them usually just come from something, and I just sit down to say this would be funny. Could you get away from just learning motion editor and animating just with that? Could you get away with just learning motion editor? I think that's what you mean. Yeah, I mean that's what I do. It's just there are some times where things are difficult because I'm being stubborn. If there are times where the graph editor could be more useful, and I'm comfortable and understand the one bit more, so it would take me longer to try to learn that than it would be just to deal with it in the motion editor. I don't care. You don't have to credit me for nothing. What was the one with the Spaceballs reference? That was actually the Lyra one.
You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time. Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good.
So yeah, that was that one. That was such a stupid video. But that's what I loved about it. It made no sense. I don't know why. Like, just epic shots. Just your Power Ranger. And the whole reason for this scene was because I couldn't figure. I had no way to end it. I didn't know how to end it, so I just thought, well, I'll just make it like the whole thing is toys, and take from Spaceballs. I didn't like the lip sync on that part though.
No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good.
That's timed off, I think.
Good. Playing with your dolls again. Good.
And her little outfit.
You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time.
And I love the other thing I loved about this was the fact that she's at a wood table with wood walls, and there's like this super high tech facility sitting behind a wood door. Like, why? I don't know. Because.
Yes, sir.
It's like, just take stupid and go 2 steps further. Why do I get pretty horses manly voices? Because it's funny. Because I couldn't exactly redo that scene with women voices, because then it's not the same. It's Spaceballs. Anyways, so I'm going to call it there. I'm gonna turn that back on so I don't forget. Yeah. That's weird. Oh, here it's got like the wallpaper from my other one. Anyway, knock on that door. No, I'm not gonna raise the pitch. It doesn't make it female. That's not how that works. Anyway, so thanks for coming. I will be streaming Friday because I need to finish this because I need to render it for. I need to have that video, or I want to try to have it done by Sunday, and I'm gone most of Saturday, and then I fly out Sunday afternoon, so I don't have too much time. So yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah, I don't have anything in there either. Okay, thankfully YouTube might be broken, but we still have cat, so that's a good thing. So anyways, thanks for coming. See you guys Friday. Peace. I gotta upload this stream. That's gonna suck. God damn you, YouTube.